My first real estate transaction as a real estate investor was freaking amazing. I started cash flowing $8,000 a month until something happened. And then I started losing $4,200 a month. The reason why I started real estate investing in the first place was because I actually fell into uncertain circumstances. Because of that, my whole life flipped upside down. I actually went into a wheelchair for 9 months with no answers on what I was going to be able to do and if I was ever going to be able to get out of a wheelchair. Before that, I actually had become a pretty successful entrepreneur, but my job was actually walking. Because of this, I realized very quickly that I needed to find something that could create passive income for me, that I wasn't knocking doors, that I wasn't actually on my feet. I could be in a wheelchair, I could be dead or alive, it doesn't matter, and my family would be taken care of. Which is why I fell in love with short-term rentals, and rentals in general, but nightly rentals, short-term rentals became my passion. I actually did a lot of research. I found a real estate coach in my local area that was an expert, and he taught me exactly how to figure out the do's and don'ts and to mitigate as much risk as possible on my nightly rentals. Thanks, Mitch. I really appreciate you. Because of this, I was actually able to figure out a strategy where I didn't have to come up with any money out of my own pocket, which sounded really good to me because I was dead broke. My back surgery was $80,000. Yes, I can walk now. I'm very grateful. Unfortunately, my family was suffering because of this. It's a lot of debt for somebody that doesn't have consistent income. So I reached out to my coach and I said, how can I figure this out, right? He gave me some scripts to start pitching to local luxury apartment complexes in downtown Salt Lake City. I did finally get someone to say yes to me. And what basically I pitched them was simply to create a short-term rental within their traditional lease program that they already have. So all I had to come up with was the first month's rent and the last month's rent. And then of course I had to figure out staging and how to manage a property management company so that I could create a nightly rental scenario for a night Airbnb and VRBO and all the different platforms. So great news, I was actually able to get a penthouse at one of the most sought after locations in Salt Lake City. This was a dream for me because honestly, cash flow, as I was running my comps, seemed like a no-brainer. I also, through my coach, I was able to get all the money up front for all the furniture. So I actually didn't have to pay for any of the furniture either, which was incredible. It came to about $10,000 to furnish the entire apartment. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, luxury apartment. And it did. It cash flowed $4,000 a month. So that's without all the expenses, paying everybody that was involved. There was 3 of us. How incredible was that for me as my first real estate transaction? Oh my gosh, I about died, honestly. And then I thought, can I do it again? So then I went back to the property management company and was like, okay, so we're crushing this, and I think we need to do at least 2, maybe 3. I think max 5 here. I don't know if it would work any further than that, but can I at least go, let's do 2. And they said, yes, let's go ahead and do that. And we had built a really good relationship with them. Managing the property was a little more difficult than I had expected, however. So trying to find a property management company was ideal. I still hadn't found a good one, so I didn't at this time. I just did it myself. I managed the bookings and I managed cleaning each time. I managed handing off the keys, the whole 9 yards. That part was also a nightmare. I don't recommend that. So I have 2 properties. They're cash flowing each $4,000 a month roughly. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call from the property management company and they are furious. They are so mad that I am doing nightly rentals at their apartment complex. Now, I was confused because we had created an agreement, like we talked about this, and it was very clear what I was doing. And then they were so mad because the property management company actually changed. So then I had 2 apartments that I had to pay for every single month for a year without any income. So when I got this phone call from the property manager telling me to cease and desist, my heart sunk. I immediately went into fight or flight mode, thinking, who do I know that can help me out of this situation? Who do I know that can potentially take over this lease? what am I going to do? This was my first real estate transaction. I am a nobody. I don't know anything at this point in time. And I had just forfeited everything that I had into this, knowing, hoping, praying that this would be the answer to provide for my kids. I was so devastated and so demoralized. I thought I would never do another real estate transaction again. I honestly thought that somehow I had made up this story in my mind that it was going to work no matter what. I had legit told myself, this is a fail-safe program. This is it. This is totally how it's gonna work. There's always risk in real estate investing and any type of investing. What was I thinking to put all eggs in one basket? I mean, it was probably a good week before I was like, all right, pull myself together here. Who do I know that can help me get out of this situation? Who do I know that can just give me some type of light on how I can pivot out of this situation? Of course, I just called my coach. Mitch's voice and him telling me that everything was gonna be fine and that sometimes in real estate investing, you have to lose to learn. It felt actually really good to hear that he had maybe lost before too, and that I wasn't just a failure by myself. So when I talked to Mitch, he said, hey, actually, I have an opportunity for you. Okay, what's this? He said, what if we took the furniture that was in your property, in properties, and actually put it into one of our other real estate transactions that we have going on right now? I would essentially be buying your, leasing your furniture from you so that all parties in this, real estate transaction isn't losing. So they would be leasing that furniture from us because they were creating a nightly rental in a home in Cottonwood Heights. This sounded very intriguing to me because then all of a sudden I'm not out $10,000 that, one of our investors decided to help with, and they were going to cash flow. There wasn't a loss. There was, the normal income that he was hoping for, because I didn't want to let him down either. I felt so blessed that he came in to be, this amazing investor and support me in my cause. So that made me feel really good that he could get his money back, on time, on schedule. And then I could also watch and be a part of another real estate transaction to learn and to grow, where I wasn't the only investor involved, right? That sounded really nice. And he also suggested that I found somebody to take over the lease. And I knew that was the answer. I just felt like, how could I figure that out? How could I possibly figure that out? And I just put out some classified ads is all I did. And sure enough, you bet they took up on my offer to sublease. It was too easy, to be honest. And yet I spent at least 2 weeks just freaking out, just completely losing my marbles, which really actually created a triple effect, because by me freaking out and not reaching out for help, I lost 2 months of income, plus I had to pay for the lease. This is what I learned from the nightmare of these short-term rentals. Just ask for help. Just ask for help. More often than not, we are so terrified that we are the only person in the world that is making that mistake. We're wrong. Always have a backup strategy. If you think for any reason your short-term rental could be shut down, you better be able to long-term rental that out and make money. Or you better be able to sell it and make profit. You better have backup strategies. Don't forget to smile and have fun, because that's why we do what we do, is so we can live life abundantly and be happy and travel the world. So don't forget to have fun along the way and to smile. Thank you for watching. I love you. We adore you. We appreciate all of your comments. Please like and subscribe this channel if this has been helpful to you. And definitely make some comments below. If there's something that you would have done differently to mitigate that risk, I would genuinely be interested to hear about it, because there's a million options, right, that we could have done. I would love to hear what you would have done and how you would have set up to mitigate the risks. I also would love to hear what you're doing currently. Tell me about your story. Tell me what you do to be a successful real estate investor. I would love to hear from you. Please reach out. Like I said, one of the best things that ever happened to me, I was a part of a real estate investor community. They saved my royal hiney. Without them, I would be so screwed right now. Join us every single Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We actually do a call just for you and answer all of your questions that you might have. Links in the description. That's all I had for you today. See you on the flip side.